Hi guys, welcome to Extra Talk. We have Fabio today as a guest. We have Ajax with us today as well. Welcome guys.
Hi Juan, thank you for having me once again.
Thank you for being here, Fabio. Ajax, you too. So before we start about the Ajax topic today, let's briefly touch upon congratulating both of you. Fabio, with you, Italy against Turkey, 3-0. Very impressive. Yeah. Are you happy with the result?
Of course I was. I was, first of all, I want to say that I was lucky enough to be allowed back in a nice pub here in Milan. So I could, thank God, I could watch the game with my friends and cheer for our team, which did pretty well, I think. And but even if I expected a little bit more trouble caused by Turkey, but I was comforted to see Italy play actually very well. So nice start.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Very good start from the Italians. We won as well, Ajax, but through the wire, very close.
It was a nail-biter. 2-2 in the end, and Denzel Dumfries doing stuff we didn't expect. He was missing a header, almost an open goal, and he headed that one in. That was very difficult, so kudos to him. And we got the 3 points in the bag, and that was very important, because if you lose that first game or you draw, then you have a bad start of the group stage. So I'm very happy with the 3 points, and I hope that the team can grow into the tournament.
Who knows? Maybe we'll come and play Italy, and Italy will play the Dutch team.
Who knows? Maybe.
Who knows? All right, guys. So let's move on. We're going to talk about Ajax. There's not a lot of news going on, but there's some interesting thing I want to talk to you about today, which is the goalkeeper situation at Ajax. There's a lot going on in this season, let alone the whole Onana case, which we will, of course, discuss in a bit, but also all the other goalkeepers. There's a lot of changes going on. I just want to touch upon it. I want your views on how you guys see the goalkeeper situation evolving at Ajax. If you guys agree, if you guys are hopeful. So let's start with that. And let me start exactly by bringing in Onana, because Onana is basically maybe the biggest topic of Ajax this year. So we all know the situation, right? He was suspended. He appealed. Luckily for him, of course, the appeal was good. So in that sense, instead of not playing until February, now he can start playing in November. So it was cut down by 3 months. That also means that 2 months in front or prior to the November, he can start training with the team. So that means September. So that's really at the early stages of the season, which is good for him, you know. So there were a lot of rumors and also transfer news regarding Onana being linked with Arsenal, and they're saying that he's very close to signing with Arsenal, but a lot will depend also on the appeal. That was prior to the appeal, and what happened was the appeal basically. Everything was shorter. It was 9 months instead of 12 months, which has an impact on the transfer sum. Now, Arsenal, according to the rumors, is not willing to pay a lot of money for Onana. So where does it leave us in terms of our situation with Onana? I mean, he only has 1 year left on his contract. We know this. We tried extending his contract a couple of months ago, but Mark Overmars said, you know what, we're not reaching any agreement, so we stopped. So Fabio, please, your opinion about Onana's situation, and what do you hope for? What do you want? What do you expect to happen?
Okay, I think that the Onana case is a very weird one, and it was since the very beginning. The whole fact that he took by mistake a pill apparently prescribed to his wife, and then the appeal, you know, there's something very, very strange. But apart from that, I think that the ban that was imposed to him was hugely overestimated. It's right that you want to send a message. You want to make the footballers understand that doping is not allowed. But I mean, 1 year of ban for what was a mistake it's way too much for me. The fact that the ban was shortened could maybe mean for me that maybe they understood that they made a little mistake, but That's not really Ajax business. The point is that now there are two possible ways. We can try to keep Onana for the last year and possibly play him, because I mean he's actually our best goalkeeper. He's still our best goalkeeper. Or try to sell him now. What I hope for, honestly, I don't know if keeping him for a year and even if I mean he's Onana, and for Ajax he's Onana, but he couldn't train for at least for quite a lot of months. So I have a little doubts about his condition, his physical condition. So maybe even if I love the guy, I know he did great and he did a lot for Ajax. But at this point, even after the troubles in the renewal process, the fact that Overmars say that an agreement couldn't be reached, maybe means all this means that it's time to sell him. Because losing a goalkeeper like Onana, which is, I repeat, is a pretty good goalkeeper, for free at the end of the year could be a waste, could be a real waste. Of course, I'd prefer him to renew his contract, but since I don't think it's going to happen, maybe the right way for Ajax is to cash in the more possible. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Fabio. Ajax, what's your take on the Onana case?
Yeah, what I hope for is
okay.
What I hope for is that he extends his contract with at least a year. This is hope. So I don't know if it's a reality or it can be reality, but I still have faith in Overmars. Maybe he can do make a new deal. That's what I hope for. But what I think is best is selling him, because you have to keep a spot free in your roster for the Champions League to sign him in for the tournament. And this means that until November you cannot use him while signing him in on the list. So you have one player short, and for the matches before that, you still have to have sufficient goalkeepers. So you're sacrificing one player for it. Also, you have to be asking yourself if he will be fit immediately in November, because you can train from September. You can train and you can work a little bit with the team again, but you also have to have match fitness. So and with the winter break in January, it could also be a possibility that he could be of value from February on. So I think if he will not extend his contract, if there's no possibility, then the best possible option is, I think, to sell him. We have 3 goalkeepers now. We have actually 4 if you count Scherpen, but we have Gorter, the new signing. We have Stekelenburg that extended his contract for a year and now is even first goalkeeper in the Dutch squad, who's doing pretty well. And we have Pasveer signed for 2 years. So you have sufficient goalkeepers. Are they as good as Onana in his prime? No. But Stekelenburg is doing a very good job. And I think he will be good enough to reach a certain standard that is necessary for Ajax.
All right. So we'll touch upon the other goalkeepers as well. All right. So basically, both of you, very short. If he doesn't extend his contract, which it doesn't look like he's going to do, we should sell him this summer.
Yeah.
All right. So now,
absolutely.
Okay. So now we move on to the others, right? To the other goalkeepers, like Ajax mentioned. We move to Stekelenburg. He extended his contract for a year, which is amazing. Let's be honest about Stekelenburg. When he was supposed to, come in, Onana was suspended. Nobody expected him. I mean, of course, he's a good goalkeeper. We know his history. We know his past. We know what he can do. But the maturity that he's shown, the calmness, the composure, everything that he's done, and even now, like Ajax also highlighted, being in the Dutch squad, it says a little bit how good he is. But of course, he's not Onana. So does it give you enough comfort to go with Stekelenburg next year as the first goalkeeper, Fabio?
Okay, so the first thing I would want to say is that the renewal he earned was totally deserved. Because, like you said, when Onana was suspended, we were all very concerned about Stekelenburg match fitness. but he stepped in without a problem, and in the blink of an eye, he was ready to go, and he delivered a lot of very nice performances. So, and we immediately noticed when he was not available, the difference he made, sadly. So if I expect him to be the starter, or if I rely on him, actually I do. I do, because the fact that the main point for me is that he's almost 39 years old. But for a goalkeeper, that could be not a very big problem, because he's staying in goal. You don't need to be that fit. I mean, you of course need to have good reflexes, good positioning, but a goalkeeper can preserve these skills, these qualities, even almost at 40. Like
he can be our Dutch Buffon.
Yeah, that was I was going to say. Of course. The only problem is that I would of course rely on him for the Eredivisie, but I don't know if he can be 100% trusted for the Champions League, and I don't want to say the Europa League. I want to stick to the Champions League. I don't know.
Why is that?
Sorry?
Why do you doubt this? Why do you doubt him in Champions League?
Because I think that the speed of the game, the kind of strikers you can face is very different. Of course, that's very clear if compared to the Eredivisie one. So he can deliver good performances, and he did. But I don't know. I would say I'm trusting him at 95%, let's say.
Okay, Ajax, what's your take on Marta?
I think Marta has been terrific. I'm glad we had him during the season to take in the role and take over the role of Onana. Because if we didn't, imagine that we had to have Scherpen in the goal like the rest of the season. It would have been terrible. Not that I dislike the guy, but he made some huge mistakes when he was needed, when Stekelenburg was absent. So I think the matches against Roma would have been totally different with Stekelenburg in the goal. So that's difficult. And for the keepers that we have, I have to be honest, I do not know that much about Gorter, because I did not watch many of his games in the first Dutch division. So, but I've heard that he had most clean sheets in history of the first division or something, like a lot.
Yeah, 25.
So you have to have done something right, reaching that milestone. And I also think he has like an Ajax history, right? So he knows the school a bit. So this is important too, because you can see it with Marta. He just delivers what's needed because he knows the club. He's already been in the first squad. He knows the Dutch the football way. He knows the Ajax culture. And I think we can rely on him for next season. The only thing I doubt is that he stays fit, because he will be 39. And this is an age that, you're not 28 anymore, 25, it's different. So for me, if he's good enough to be first goalkeeper at the European Championship, he will be good enough to take on this role in the Champions League. So for me, he will be the number one choice.
Yeah. We will touch upon Gorter in a bit as well. Just moving on to Pasveer, which we signed from Vitesse. He's had really a good season in Vitesse, one of his best actually in his career at 37 years of age. Ajax got him on a free transfer basically, and he signed 2 years. He's 37. He's 1 year younger than Stekelenburg. He's. I mean, I think from Ajax stance, I mean, I don't know how you guys see it. It's a solid choice, as a backup goalkeeper to have. The only question I have, the only doubt in my mind, Fabio, you mentioned about Stekelenburg in Europe. I have that with Pasveer. I have no problems with him being our goalkeeper in the Eredivisie. But if, like Ajax mentioned, let's say, knock on wood, if something happens to Stekelenburg, if something happens to Stekelenburg, can we go with Pasveer in the Champions League? Take it away. Whoever wants to go first.
I do not think that would be the best possible option. but this is only because I did not see him perform much in Europe until now. So I have to say, in the Dutch competition, he's done very well. He's really done very well at Vitesse. So one of his best seasons. And if I look at his physique, he's almost the fittest guy in the squad there. He's really buffed. Only the gray hair shows you that he's at a certain age. But his body, his physique, he's very fit for his age. So yeah, I think he will be a terrific second goalkeeper. I share the doubts you have for him, performing in Europe. But we have to just wait and see, and hopefully Stekelenburg just stays fit, and we do not have to rely on him for those matches.
What do you think, Fabio?
For me, first of all, I was very impressed by Pasveer in the Dutch Cup final. I thought he was almost the MVP. He was outstanding. He was by far Vitesse's best player on the pitch. And I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised when we signed him, but mostly not because I don't think he's good, mostly because of his age. Because I thought we already have an aged goalkeeper. Why going for a second one? But I mean, after seeing him against Ajax, I think he's a very good signing. He's a like Ajax said, a very solid backup goalkeeper. And if something, surprisingly enough, I think he could even be better than Stekelenburg in Europe. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Stekelenburg is, of course, he's a legend. I would never want him to be unfit or not available. But what I noted is that Stekelenburg can cover the goal quite well. But Pasveer has some very good cut-like reflexes. His explosivity, let's say, his capacity, his space, his capacity to jump, to collect the ball. It's something you don't expect in a 37-year-old goalkeeper. So maybe if once again, I hope Stekelenburg is fit for the whole season, but I would not be scared if we went with Pasveer in Europe.
So do you rate Pasveer a bit higher than Stekelenburg? Is that what you're saying?
No, but I think he has a couple of skills that could be more useful in Europe.
Okay.
Of course, Stekelenburg is the best, apart from Onana. But Pasveer has a couple of qualities that I think that can be very useful in Europe.
Yeah. All right. Okay, guys, we have to move on. There are a couple of other goalkeepers we have to talk about as well. So Gorter, of course, we have to talk about Gorter. We just signed him for 1 million, 4-year contract from Go Ahead Eagles. Like Ajax mentioned, he had a terrific season in the first division, the Keukenkampioen-divisie, as they say here. 25 clean sheet, 37 games. He broke the all-time record. Amazing result. He also got an award for that. So Ajax is buying him basically for the future. He also said in the interview that his goal is to develop further, work on his skills, and when time is due, he will replace the older goalkeepers that we have right now. So I'm going for Ajax first for his first reaction on this one. Ajax, what do you think of this deal that Ajax made?
I think you also always have to scout the Dutch field for talent. And we did this with Scherpen. And unfortunately, in my opinion, it didn't work out that well because I think he's just not good enough. But this guy, his stats speak for itself. I didn't see, like I said before, a lot of his matches. But if you have 25 clean sheets, this is a milestone. This is not something achieved easily. And especially in the Keukenkampioen-divisie, there usually are a lot of goals in the matches there. So it's you rarely see like 1-0, 0-0. It isn't a weird thing to see a 4-3 in those matches. It's like a lot of goals, in my opinion. So keeping 25 clean sheets, you have to do something, great. And for him at his age, I think he can be a talent for the future. I do not know how he will develop at Ajax. He fortunately knows the school already because he has passed at the club. But I think he will be, if he continues like this and he gets the training that you get at Ajax and they help him develop a little bit more the coming like 1 year, 1.5 year, we could have a terrific goalkeeper in him.
Fabio, your take? I guess also you haven't seen him play a lot, of course.
No, you're right.
Yeah, but so I guess you agree basically with what Ajax said, or do you want to add something to this one?
No, I totally agree with Ajax. I think that maybe Gorter wouldn't be at Ajax if Scherpen had performed a little bit better.
Well,
but,
that's an interesting take, but I will let you finish first because Scherpen is the next one we're going to discuss. So go ahead.
Yeah. Well, because basically after Stekelenburg and after signing another aged goalkeeper like Pasveer, you want to have a young goalie to develop, and we had Scherpen, but we also that he maybe I don't want to say that he isn't good enough, but maybe he wasn't ready. Maybe he needs some more time. And maybe after seeing what Gorter could do in the second division, maybe they wanted to bring back one of the pupils, you know.
Yeah.
Then of course I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to stay with the first team, but I can't see him competing for a number one spot. Of course, that is going to be Stekelenburg spot. Unless something happens with Onana and a miracle happens and he renews the contract.
I would imagine also by what he said in the interview that he will be used because he's a young player. He has to play a lot. I guess he's going to play a lot in the Scherpen role, you know, in the company committee for Ajax, young Ajax. And I think maybe 1 year, you know, like a bridge year to learn, develop, and maybe next year he can be the first goalkeeper. I mean, depends on how it evolves, of course. Yeah. So sorry, I cut you off again. What did you want?
No, don't worry.
You have one last thing to say about it, about Gorter?
No. I think you summed it up pretty well.
Yeah. Look, it also leads us now to the conversation about Scherpen, right? Very tricky. I mean, he's still young, let's be honest, 21 years of age. I mean, he's more or less the same age as Gorter. I think Gorter is 1 year younger than he is. He has 2 years left on his contract, if I'm not mistaken, which means, well, this year we have to either sell him or loan him out. Now, both of these scenarios, according to the news last couple of months, are available for Scherpen. He can go to PEC Zwolle on a loan. Zwolle is very interested in having him this year to get some rhythm going in the Eredivisie. But right after that first news came on, a couple of days later, we heard that Brighton from the Premier League is willing to buy him for approximately 5 million euros. Now, let's just keep in mind that we bought Scherpen from Emmen for 1.5 million. My question to you is, what should we do with the Scherpen situation? Should we say, you know what, let's just let him go? Or should we say, no, let's give him a year to develop and let's make that decision next year? Because then he has 1 year left on his contract. What do you think, Fabio?
I think it would be honestly better than we loaned him out for a year, because I don't want to say a player is not good after even after a huge mistake. Everything, it can happen to everyone pretty much. But I have to admit that 5 million for a 21-year-old goalie is not so little. So even considering that the Onana situation is still unclear, that we have two very good goalies like Stekelenburg and Pasveer, and consider that we just signed Gorter, which is another young goalie. If Brighton is serious about that, I will definitely sell him.
Ajax, your take?
We can sell him for 4 or 5 million all day, every day, because he's, in my opinion, I saw some matches of him at young Ajax. He's been at the club for a few years now. He only has 2 years left on his contract, and for me, he just does not have the total package. He's a large guy. He's like 2 meters 5 centimeters, I think. and he's not agile enough for me. That's necessary for a goalkeeper. You have to have some agility and some athleticism, and I think he just lacks in that area. He's just a big guy with some skills, but I think he's not that complete and all round that other keepers are. So this is just my opinion. For me, if we can take like 4 or 5 million for him, you have to do it.
You don't you see him growing a little bit more, Ajax, because he's only 21 still. I mean, for goalkeeper, that is very young.
It is, but I just don't think we have the time to wait for this, because you also bought Gorter, and he has a 5-year contract until 2025. So actually, you're saying he's our future goalkeeper now. You have some other keepers in the academy, and you still have two slightly older keepers. But also with Pasveer, he maybe will end his career at Ajax, so he can maybe be second goalkeeper if Gorter steps up. You do not know what the situation with Stekelenburg will be. So for me, the future for Scherpen at Ajax, I just don't see it. And I'm not saying he will not be good enough, but also in the department of like footballing goalkeeper, I see him less capable in that role than I see a Stekelenburg, for example, or an Onana.
Okay. All right, clear. Okay, guys. So if we go to the other goalkeepers, then we're going a bit far. But Kotarski, we just heard, because this is being recorded on a Tuesday for our viewers, we heard that Kotarski is being loaned out to a Croatian club. So that's one. He only has 2 years left on his contract. So same situation as Scherpen, basically, but he's loaned out now. Then we move to Daan Reiziger, which was a young Ajax or maybe a youth player goalkeeper. He has gone on a free transfer to Vitesse, so he's left us. Then if we move along the whole goalkeepers line, I think we come to Ratzi. Ratzi has 1 year left on his contract, so it has to be. I mean, we don't know yet what will happen, if Ajax will go on or continue or give him an extension or maybe let him go or sell him. So we have to wait and see. But the final thing I want from you, very briefly, because we're just going to finalize this discussion. Are you guys comfortable enough having Stekelenburg, Pasveer, and Gorter as the goalkeepers, the 3 goalkeepers going into the next season? Fabio.
For the very next season, I am. But if the Onana case is still uncertain at the end of the next season, we need to move on and sign a proper, let's say, a proper goalkeeper for next season.
I mean, next season, you mean next year, right?
Yeah, next year, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Not this one that is going to start in a few months.
All
the
right.
Next one.
Clear. Thanks. Ajax.
I have faith in the capabilities of Maarten, and also I think with Pasveer you have bought some experience. It's not like a rookie anymore. He's 37 years old, so you can expect from him not to do that many stupid things. So I'd rather have a 37-year-old goalkeeper with a lot of experience in the goal than that you have to play with, for example, Scherpen, like against Roma last season, with maybe a lot of potential in someone's eyes, but maybe too many mistakes still. And I think that will not happen that much, or for like Stekelenburg and Pasveer. So, and the Gorter situation, we just have to see how this develops. But with those 3 goalkeepers, I think you have sufficient players for coming season. But they have to stay fit. If one drops, it will be already a little bit difficult, I think.